lovely people. I am so excited to have sent you guys my card kit for your orders in July. Thank you so much. You guys are so amazing, and I appreciate you so much for your friendship and for your orders and supporting my Stampin' Up! Business over the years. So, I have not sent a card kit in the mail. I've not done card kits for quite some time, and I wanted to show a little extra love for your orders, so that has been mailed out. I had such a great response to the sentiment sheets that I sent out to those who filled out my recent survey. And if you are one of those people, thank you over and over a million times from my heart. I have not had a chance to go through them all yet. But I sent out a sentiment sheet to everybody who filled out that survey. And this is something fun that I have started. So it's kind of a little bit of a sneak peek. And, yeah, I'm really, really excited about it, and I will be sending these particular sentiment sheets out to all of my newsletter subscribers, and because I knew you were going to be getting a card kit, I featured some of these on the cards in your kit. Now, of course, you can use your stamps, whatever you like, but I'm just going to show you what I did, my friends. I printed on Fairy Vanilla and my regular basic white cardstock. Now, I know I had a couple emails. How do I use these? Yes, just go ahead and put your cardstock in your printer and make sure your black is on, you know, not toner saver, printer saver, ink saver. So I did have to go in there and unclick that because I always like try to save my black ink. That way it comes out really, really crisp. And yeah, so this is what you've got coming. You'll have it by the time you see this video. So all you're going to do is cut them out, or you can lay your dies on top and cut them out with your die. So lots of fun. And I kind of thought, well, this is a waste of space. Maybe I should, you know, put some sentiments on this side too. But we're paper crafters. Nothing will go to waste. So I know you guys can just trim this up and use it for your cards, especially with the cost of cardstock these days, not gonna lie. So anyhow, so let me just go ahead. Actually, let's just bring in my trimmer, and I'm just gonna show you. I'm just gonna trim off this top. Now, oh, look what I did. Even the headers, I knew you could use the headers and cut them out and put them on cards, and you could just stamp, you know, happy and put it next to the birthday. This piece that I trimmed off, flip it over, use it, don't waste anything. Okay, let's try this again. Let's just line this up. There, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off this bit, and then this will go into my scrap basket, and I can use these on cards. And same thing for this piece down here. Now you can go ahead and just cut them into strips and then put them in a little container, and then you've got them to use whenever you need them. But I'm not going to do that because sometimes I am going to want to use a punch, or sometimes I might want to flag the end and I might need that extra white on each end. So just something to think about when you're using these. And I have to tell you guys, I have not a little secret, maybe it's not a secret anymore, but I have been working on a bunch of these that I'm going to be selling, and oh my gosh, some of the sentiments and sayings make me giggle. I'm like, oh my goodness, you guys are going to love these. So I'm really, really excited. Okay, so anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut out a couple, and then I've got them for my cards, and then you can see. Now, you don't have to use these, remember, you can use your stamps, but I'm going to cut out this one. Even miracles take a little time. Keep going. And I tried to pick fonts that I thought kind of matched the sentiment. And I am a bit of a perfectionist. Even though a lot of my things on my cards go crooked, as you guys know. But I am a bit of a perfectionist. So I just kind of I kept tweaking them, and I'm so pleased with how they turned out. So there's that one. Okay, so now let's do one in Fairy Vanilla. I'm just gonna go in here. trim that bit off. See? Use that for your cards and projects. And same thing. I'm going to just trim this off. Okay. So let me grab a die and show you how you can use them with your dies. Okay, I just pulled out this one's Greetings of the Season dies. Now these just recently retired, and I know quite a few of you probably have these. So I haven't pulled these ones out yet to try them. But all you're going to do, right, is you're just going to position them. See, too many stamps, said no one ever. Well, looky there, that fits. Behind every card is a crafter avoiding housework. That doesn't fit because this little hole bit is going to cut some of that out, and that would be sad. And this one's pretty big. That one will work. Some angels have fur and wagging tails. So just play around with your dies. Let me grab another set here. Doopy-doopy-doo. Stylish Shapes dies. Let's just grab this one. 'Tis the season to sparkle and stamp. Look at, see, and that fits perfectly. So just go ahead and use them as you wish. I'm going to use this one. Now, this is not going to fit in my machine because it's a little bit wide. So I'm just going to trim this up. I'm just going to cut it right above the Pets and Comfort. Like that. Put that aside and let me get my machine in. Okay. So you guys are getting a sneak peek because I will be doing a video on my Serene Stamper channel soon. And this will be old news to you guys because you'll have already seen this. And only those of you who placed orders with me this past month are getting this video. Do you feel special? Because you should. You are special. You are special indeed. Now, do I want my little hole here for the ribbon or over here? These are the big decisions we have. I'm going to do that. Okay. Oh. Here we go. That's what we want. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Run that through. Aren't these fun? I'm having so much fun with these sentiment sheets. Now look at that. Too many stamps, said no one ever. And I'm sure we all have friends that would love a card that says that. Because you attract where you're at. And if you're crafty, which you are, I'm sure you have crafty friends that would love this. And don't forget, when you cut these long ones out, which I have one on the table here somewhere, you don't have to use it in one long strip. You can cut the words as long or as short as you want. Okie dokie, friends. So that's how they work. I hope you have fun with these. I know I'm having fun creating them, I can tell you that. So let me show you the cards. Here are the cards. I'm really excited with how these turned out. So this one's pretty simple. I used some of my sentiments on this one. This world is brighter because of your heart. This one, I used the Cheers and Sips stamp set for the sentiment. And in your card kit, I just took the Designer Series paper and just trimmed around all different types of glasses. So your kit is probably going to have, or very well could have, a different pattern of Designer Series paper, a different cocktail glass, but I think they're all going to turn out stinking cute and you're going to have fun with them. Or else. Okay, and then this one, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this style of card before, and usually it's just this on the front, right? But I put it on a complete card so that if you wanted to send out a letter, you can send out a letter, or like a note. Remember letters? I love getting handwritten letters. I still get the odd letter in the mail, and there's something magical about it. Or alternatively, when you get your card kits, just cut this bit off and use this piece for whatever you want. Also in your card kits, there's going to be 3 pieces of computer paper. That's what I use for the inside of my cards. And you can do that or put cardstock in your cards. But again, I'm very conscious of stretching out my supplies. As I think many of you know, even in my videos, I'll say use what you have, you know. we have to watch our money. So you can absolutely use cardstock on the inside, and for really, not that my cards aren't special, but you know what I mean. If you're doing a really, really fancy card, I would put actual cardstock inside my cards, but I just use the paper. And my girlfriend Deborah got me hooked on some beautiful photocopier paper that's shiny and glossy and gorgeous. And I actually have to get some, and I saved the packaging because I ran out of it. But it's Xerox brand, bold digital high performance printing paper, whitest and brightest. And it is gorgeous. It makes my photocopier paper look sad. But if I had more of that paper, I would have cut that up to put in your card kits, because that's what I'm using now for my cards. Okay, so let's get rumbling and rocking and rolling here. I'm going to save this one for last because I also did a second card to show you a variation. So here's what you're going to get. You're going to get in your little packet, everything is, all the card stuff is just stacked on top of each other. So careful when you take it out of your pack, but everything for each card will be on top. So this is this one. Okay, so we'll do that one first. Okay. Look, everything's done for you because I love you. That's why. All right, so real red cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5. Should I zoom in, Tad? There you go. Okay. Then I'm going to take my Full of Life Designer Series paper. Now, of course, you can use whatever pattern you want on your cards. You're the artist. In fact, and I always say this too, you can take the supplies. If you've gotten cards from me in the past, or even if you haven't, I always say this for years, my classes, events, you can absolutely just take the bits and pieces of the cards and completely do something different. It's just fun to have the stuff all ready for you to assemble and stamp and play. And that's my end goal always, is just play and have fun. Okay, so this is silver cardstock, and I'm just gonna put this right on like that. Now the punch, I can't remember the name of the punch, you guys. It's this one. But of course you could use your scissors, you can flag it, you can use a die if you're wanting to recreate these cards. But that's the punch that I used. And then I'm going to pull this in with my Real Red ink pad. I love this stamp set. I really love this stamp set. It's fun. And the Designer Series paper is a must. In fact, I ordered more today because I want to stock up on it. Oh, look, it's still on my block. That's why I can't find it. Okay, so I'm going to stamp Cheers right here, like that. And then I have Let's Celebrate. Now, I used Lost Lagoon on my original card because that was one of the colors. I figured that was Lost Lagoon, so that's what I used here. But let me see now. Here, this is what you're going to have in your kit, you guys. You're going to have some sort of cup, right? Some sort of glass, I should say. And then you're going to have a piece of this, which is from the same Designer Series paper pack. So if you wanted to cut out some fruit to put on your card, you've got that. I would have loved to have given you a lot bigger piece than this, but honestly, that's why I had to order more Designer Series paper today, because when I put the kits together, I realized how low I was getting. Anyways, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Okay. So, I'm going to, let's see. Maybe I'll just use this one, because I know some of you in your kits don't have the glasses that have the little, you know, garnishes or what have you. So I want to show you how cute it can still be. Now, there are dies that cut these out, but you can also use your scissors for this particular piece. Okay, so if I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use my Cheers, I think I'm going to grab my little piece of lime. And I'm just going to cut that out. I'll fix it up once I get it cut out. So fun. I say that all the time, don't I? See, you can put it down on the bottom like this, but I think I want to have it actually right on the rim. Come on now, like that, right? Oh my gosh, adorable. I need to cut a little bit more off right here. Like, look how cute that is. Tell me that isn't cute. That's really cute. Doesn't have to go down that far. Maybe I'll move over here a little bit. Okay, so I know I'm going to do that for sure. So, and maybe I will pull in a strawberry. Maybe, do I want that orange bit? I don't know. I'm just going to cut out some fruit real quick here because I don't want to bore you. But I don't want to edit a whole bunch either because I want to get this out to you guys. So I'm just doing a lickety split cutting here. There's my strawberry, and I'm going to cut this orange out. Now this might be too big for that glass. Maybe not. The little orange rind. I've used this, well, clearly because I have not very much designer series paper left, but I love using this little orange rind on my cards with this bundle. I just think it's fun. I have my window open here in the stamp room, and there's a lot of chirping and birds, and of course all the farm trucks are going by, so if it's too loud, my apologies. See? Now, look. Oh, I need to cut right there. Look at that. Like for the little orange rind. Oh, that's fun. Okay, so you get the gist. So I'm going to use some orange, and I'm going to use a strawberry. I'm just going to use them all, and my lime. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to use my orange versus the green. So let's pull in my pumpkin pie. I'm just going to stamp it right below it. Now that's not the most perfect pumpkin pie. Why? What did I do wrong, class? Teacher, you did not clean your stamp. No, I did not. And I thought about that just as I started inking, and by then it already had ink on it. So do as I say, not as I do. Clean your stamps before you go into ink pads. Okay, so now I'm going to pop this on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay, and I'm just going to have it so it comes down just past this little flag bit down here, just a little bit, like so. Then I'm going to put this on with dimensionals as well, but I need to get my little lime on there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right behind here. Come on, glue. Am I the only one that struggles with these glue bottles sometimes, where the glue just doesn't want to cooperate? Oh, geez. Glue came out that time. All over my desk. Okay, so I'm just going to open this up just a bit and just kind of tack it on like so. Okay, and then I could also put a little bit of glue behind here. Put that on. And I'm going to position this right about here. Did I take my backings off? No, I did not. No, I did not. Okay, let's try that again. And put it on here. Okay. And then I'm going to put both of these on. I think I'll put that right there. And I'm going to use a dimensional for the strawberry. Now I know I have mini dimensionals somewhere, but we'll just use this because it's here and it's handy. Actually, I could have fit a whole dimensional on there, but that's okay. Maybe I'll just tuck this just underneath a little bit like so. See? Isn't that the cutest? All right. Next, I need some bling. So I have my iridescent rhinestones. I'm too far away still for you guys, aren't I? I'll just use my scissors because they're here. I so stocked up on these. I absolutely love these rhinestones with a passion. We'll just put that there. Just add a little something something. And then I forgot, but there's also a silver bow that I did up for you guys. And on my original card, you can see I put it right here. But I've got fruit there now. So I'm not really quite sure if I'm going to use it, and if so, where I'm going to put it. So, I mean, I could put it there. This is where I really wish I could hear you guys. Yeah, that looks good there. Oh no, Tina, don't do that. Don't do that. And so many times, you know, when I would have my classes, so many people would come up with ideas I wouldn't have thought of, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea. So, I do miss having my in-person events. That's a fact. I really don't know. Maybe right there. Why not? Let's just get her on. So I'm just going to take a glue dot and pop it right there. Noisy cars. Don't they know I'm making cards with you guys? The nerve, the nerve. Okay, and I just put a little bit of my tape runner along the top. And look at a cute little cocktail card for somebody's birthday or promotion, whatever you want to celebrate. So there is card number 1. Here is card number 2. And as you can tell, it's really simple, but it's really effective. And you could use so many different images instead of these flowers. Now, if you're wondering what set these flowers are from, they are from Weekend Adventures. So it's this image right here. So when you get your kit, of course, you can use what you have. As I already mentioned, you could use an entirely different stamp set if you don't have this one. Now, I am trying to find this and this. Okay, so Highland Heather is the card base, 8.5 by 11. And then I took a piece of fairy vanilla and cut it 4 by 5 1/4. And then I took the perennial postage die, and the die measures approximately 3.5 by 4.5, and cut out the center bit. And then you're just going to position that into your frame, right? And then you're going to stamp on it. So let's do something a bit different. Let's use the coffee cup on this one. I hadn't planned on doing that, but let's do it. Let's do something different just so you can see a little bit of a variety. And I'll use black. Nothing like changing things up as we go along. But I'm just going to do a bunch of cups along the bottom here. I'll do one there like that. And I'm going to bring in my Fresh Freesia ink pad. I'll just chop it on here. And let's pull in some Coastal Cabana. And let's pull in Old Olive. You can never go wrong with blues, greens, and purples. Now you can use your Stampin' Blends. Okay, I got a little bit of water. And so you go ahead and color however you like, right? I'm just going to pick up some of that Highland Heather. And again, you want to make sure your paper is in place. And I did stamp in Memento, so it might bleed a little bit. That does not look like this cardstock whatsoever. It's all right. We'll fix it up. Fresh Freesia. I think I'm using the wrong color. I can tell right off the bat that that is the right color. So let's pick that up. Ah, yes. Yeah, it's the right purple. And I'm doing this quick lickety split because I want to basically give you the gist of how they come together, but I know you can probably figure it out too. I'm going to take my Old Olive, and we'll see how this turns out, but I'm going to go on top of this. Why not? We'll create our own custom color mug. Okay. And then the blue. I love this blue. Now, obviously, I am stamping or coloring fast, right? But you do want to make sure that you are getting your patterns on the outside layer as well as the inside cut layer. Okay. And now I'm going to go back on top of this one. See, just because it's dried a little bit, we can start getting the shading in there. Okay. I'm going to give that a zap with my heat tool. All right, I'm going to go back in with some of my blue here. And back in with some of my green. I like this different look with the little bit of purple in there. And you know, you don't know until you try, right? You don't know until you play around, and then that's how things are discovered. My brush is not tapered like it should be. Okay, I'm going to zap that again. Okay, now I'm bringing in the stamp set again, and I'm going to take Enjoy, Relax, and maybe Better Together, and stamp those right onto the cups. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to take this little splattery image and put that on. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a light, actually I'm going to spritz the ink on here, and I'm just going to pick up the ink here. See? How fun is that? Go into that green a little bit. I don't know how much blue is on here, really. Let's turn this the other way. There. That's fun. That is fun. Okay, I'm going to take my fresh freesia, or do I want to do black? I'm going to do black for all of them. Better Together. And that was still a little bit wet there, so that bled just a teeny bit, but it's okay. And Enjoy and Relax. Okay, now it's time to put this onto my card base. I don't know what that is, so we'll flip that around. Got a new bottle of glue. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay, yeah. I was like, which way does it go? But I got the stamps down on the bottom. Okay. And then this gets put up with Stampin' Dimensionals. Now, if you want to stamp your sentiment, you do that obviously before you put this onto your card. But I think these would all be awesome. Adventure starts here, taking the scenic route. Let's take a look at what I've got. Even Miracles take a little time. Too many stamps, said no one ever. I think that's cute, so I'm going to use that one. Stamps and coffee, and Enjoy, Relax, Better Together. I think that's a perfect combination. I would love to see the cards that you guys make from these kits. I know lots of times I will receive pictures by Facebook or email sent to me seeing the variations of the cards that were made with these card kits I send out, and I just love getting those. So don't be shy and share your creations with me. I think I'm going to put another one right there. And I'm going to put one right here too. Okay. Cute. I don't know if it's my glasses or my eyes, but it looks like the camera is going blurry when I bring these up. I don't know. Okay, I want this to pop up a little bit, so I'm going to cut out some cardstock So let me just grab a pencil here. I'm going to want this to be about right there. So I'm just going to trim that up. I'm going to pop that on right like that. So somewhere I have my adhesive strips. So I'm just going to grab one of those. Do you guys use these adhesive strips? I love them. I mean, obviously they're great for shaker cards, but they are really awesome. Need a little tiny bit here. These are a little bit, well, a lot thicker, like double the thickness of a Stampin' Dimensional. So if you've never used them before, keep that in mind. Okay. And then bring this back in. So if this is something you want to do at home, obviously just, I didn't include this strip of cardstock because that's not how I did the original design, but I always like to show you variations to kind of get your creative juices going. Let's put a big old rhinestone right there. Paper on the inside. Like that is a quick, easy layout. Now let me show you the original because the original looks very different. So that was also using my digital stamps and then the flowers instead of the cups. So there you go. The world is brighter because of your heart. Too many stamps, said no one ever. I think that's adorable. Okay, let's move on to the last card. Actually, before we move on to the next card, I just had a thought as I was putting that stamp away. I'm going to add some more splatters. So I'm just going to take some water back into that ink. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did on the cups. Yeah, see? It needed splatters. Needed just a few more splatters. And I don't want it to get on my layer, or do we? Yeah, sure, why not? That's the whole point of the technique. That's how these afterthoughts work, right? There. Right? Just added a little bit more color. You should put a little bit here. And this seems a little blank there. Okay, and now this seems a little blank here. Now I'm done. There. Okay, moving on to the next card. Actually, before I move on to the next card, because it's sitting on my desk, and this is what I would do even if I wasn't filming. I have ink on this block, so I'm going to, right, I still have ink on it, so I'm going to put my water on it. And because I spritzed it over my paper, I now have spritz marks on my paper, and that's okay. And then I'm just going to hold this down onto my paper. This is not a new technique for many of you, but this might be new for some of you. But I do this a lot, and then I put it in my scrap basket, and then I can stamp anything I want on top of it, right? Like, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? And then let me show you what you can do with it. Tina's going on a tangent. I'm going to heat that up first real quick with my heat tool. Okay, so that's dry. And I'm just going to trim this up. You could use a die. right? So there's my square. And let's see, is this the back of that? Let's just make this 4. Oh, it might have to be smaller than that. No, that's pretty much 5 1/4. Most excellent. And since I have this out, let's grab this and make this into a card. And let's score this. None of this was planned, but this is what you guys are getting. I am thinking out loud. Okay, I think I like the splatters up there. Here's a sneak peek, guys. This is coming out in the next online exclusives. I got this when I was at the Disney trip in Florida, and I haven't even used it yet. And there are dies that go with it. So I'm going to look at the size of this tree. Oh my gosh. Look, it's massive. So let me go ahead and I'm rushing because this is already 41 minutes long, and I'm probably, hopefully not, but could be boring you, and I don't want to bore you. So let's, okay, one thing at a time here. Let's get the label on. Oh my gosh, this tree is magnificent. Okay, let's just line that up on the label. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus. I'm going to get this out of the way. I'm going to zoom out a little bit for you guys. Get that out of the way. Okay. I had to do a little desk tidy up. It was getting a little bit crazy in here. Okay, so I'm going to put this on my Stamparatus. And I'm going to turn this way. Now this is a big stamp, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this. Let's see, because I want that to be center. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little bit of my good old snail, and I'm just going to line this up. I've shared this technique, I do believe, on my Serene Stamper channel, and I know I've shared it in classes and workshops. But oh my gosh, this tree! Let's move it right down. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Do I want it right down? Yeah. Okay. Do I? Yeah. Let's move it down a little bit more. I'm moving it down so that the edge is almost right down at the bottom, so the tip is going to be right at the top of that inked piece. Holy Toledo, this is a great stamp. Okay. So, what do I want to do? Do I want to do it in black? Let's just do it in black for now. And we can add the color. Or do I? Because then the black... Yes, we can color it in. Okay. Something like this, you might not even need to color. Just keep it the outline. I can't wait to see what this is going to look like. Looks pretty good. I'm not going to color this, I don't think. I don't know. Let's just get this on. That looks good. Oh, I got a little bit of a line there. That's all right. Okay, there's a cool... like this one here with the rock and the grass. Well, both of them are cool. I'm only gonna use these, I think. And I don't know if I mentioned, but there are dies. I haven't got them yet. I actually just ordered them today with our pre-order. And I'll finish putting the labels on my stamps later. Okay, just set those there for now. See, that totally hit that mark because I'm smart that way. I don't even know if I need this one, to be honest. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Oh, yes. I love it. Okay. So, then we're going to pop this off. And this is going to go on my card base. And then this is going to get popped up with dimensionals. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to line it up. So this is similar to the technique we just did. Right? I got that down too low? Nope. So there's that, and then we'll just add a sentiment. So I have these ones already cut, and they were done on white. So this is let every falling leaf remind you of fresh starts. So we'll do that one. Did I not get glue in that a little bit? Maybe we'll pop a couple of these up. There. Turned out pretty good, I think. It's just a really cool technique. And you could cut this out with the die. I do have a video on my channel on how to do this different ways. But that's how I've done it today. I mean, if you wanted to, you could rough up the edges. See, that looks pretty cool as well. Just take your fingernail across. Right? I like that. And just kind of fold up those corners a bit. And there you go. So that is a variation of this technique where you're stamping off on the image, right? Like the image is stamping off on those cuts, right? And by the way, I just colored these with my markers. So there you go. This wasn't even on my radar when I started filming today, but sometimes you just got to go where the wind blows you. And while I have this, I want to just quickly take my Highland Heather. I'm just going to take, I want the insides to be darker, but I had to wait for it to fully dry. See? I like that better. My old olive. And what color was this, guys? Oh my gosh. I don't remember. Coastal Cabana, maybe? That's what we're doing. Yeah, I think that's what it was. There. Okay. Last card. So the base for this card, pecan pie, is what we're using. 8.5 by 5.5 again, scored at 4 1/4. And then this piece measures 3 by 8.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. So 3 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Now remember at the beginning I said you can actually cut your piece of cardstock in half, save this for something else, and then this would just be, you know, the flap of your card just on the front. And then it would just stand right on this piece, but I did it so you had the extra. So you do it however you want to do it. Now we're using Fairy Vanilla. And I'll give you the measurements for these. And I just pulled out some different designer series papers. So, I wrote this down here. So, these Fairy Vanilla pieces are 4 1/4 by 1 1/8. And if you want to trim these or make these 4 1/8 instead of 4 1/4, you can do that. And then your designer series paper, though, is going to fit on these. Hopefully I cut them right so that they fit like this, and they're going to go on each side of this. Okay, so let's just assemble, and you could use whichever pattern you want. Maybe I'll use the blue pattern, just again show you a variation. So I'm just going to glue this on. These designer series strips measure 1 by 4. Okay. And then the next piece of designer series paper measures 4 by 2 3/4, and I ran this through that sunflower embossing folder, okay, which is back in stock as of today when I checked. It is back in stock because I know a lot of people were waiting for it. Now I'm gonna ink up both sides so that you can see the difference with this paper. So this is, we'll do the raised side first. So your pieces will already be embossed. I've already run them through the embossing folder, so they will be embossed in your kit. And just like I've shown this before on my channel, and then most recently with the white craft, but this obviously looks amazing with the pecan pie. You can use any color you want, but I mean, just look at that, right? Stunning. Now let's do it on this side, the debossed side. Whoops. And then because it's done on the designer series paper, you have the pattern of that paper in your embossing. Now I am planning on doing another video. I had hoped to get it done today, but it's not looking that way. But it's just another great way to use that technique on designer series paper. Now, I'm not sure. I think they're both so pretty, but I think I'm going to go with this one, the deboss side. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is put these pieces on. Now, if you want, again. I mean, well, no, I won't. Let's not veer off the track too much here, Tina. But I was going to sponge the edges with the pecan pie, just to show you that you could do that. But let's just get this on. See, that's one thing. If you, all of you know me, but those of you who know me personally know I am very much, oh, look, a squirrel. Or, oh, look, something shiny. I do go on tangents. I get very excited. After all these years of stamping, I'm just like, oh my gosh, what if you did this? And oh my goodness, this would look cool. Sometimes it doesn't. But you don't know until you try. And it's always fun to try and experiment. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just glue this base to the card. And again, this measures 3 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And it's easier to put these side strips on and then line this up. Okay, now in your kit, and I can already tell I'm missing one of my fairy vanillas. I've already obviously used it. You can have 2 sizes of fairy vanilla. Let me get another piece of cardstock here. Okay, so the only difference in the 2 pieces in your kit is 1/8 of an inch. Can you see that? That's the only difference. And the reason I did that is so that when you put this piece on the front of your card, you have that little bit of fairy vanilla framing it. And then this piece, which is the 4 by 2 3/4, goes on the inside of your card. All right, let's glue this on. And of course, you can also use Designer Series paper on the sides that match this, but I like pulling in the different colors. You can do it all to match. We've got a blue jay outside that's just going to town squawking, so I apologize if he's loud on the camera. And then this gets flipped up and goes on the inside, right? Pretty cool. And then the piece for the inside of your card. And then all you need is a sentiment. So I have this one that I cut out earlier that says, even miracles take a little time. Keep going. So I'm going to cut off the keep going part. I'm going to cut this off and flag it. And then I'm going to flag this end. I'm just going to trim that a little bit more. Or do I want to flag it? Yeah, sure, why not? So go up the center on each side and then side to the center. Right? So, oh, I like that. I like that a latte. I'm just not sure if I want to glue it down or if I want to pop it up. Sometimes that is the question. Well, let's pop it up. We'll just use dimensionals because it's wide enough. Okay. And maybe I want it up here instead so I'm not losing all those petals. I'm going to put it up here. And then let's just cut off an edge of my dimensionals. So you could write a little note on this flap up piece. You could stamp more in it. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to show you another something that I did. Right? And I'm just going to put it right there And then, yeah, I can stamp. I can do whatever I want. Right? And then the inside for your note. So let me show you the other variations that I did. So this one, this is the one where I also use my digital sentiment sheet. I'm so sorry. I'm here for whatever you need. Okay. And then the same. So that's done the same way. Now these are both debossed. If you wanted to add some blue to tie everything in, you can take some blue. Why don't I just do that? So I've got some blue, you know, thingies, embellishments. I don't know what set these are from. I've had them a long time. So I'm just taking a big one there, small one here. And we'll put a small one up here. So see, that pulls that blue in. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Just wanted to show you. Okay, so those are both debossed. And then like the inking is done on the debossed side. This one is done where I inked on the top. Like, it's gorgeous, I think. Both ways, I think you can't go wrong. Beautiful. And then this stamp is from Paper Tags. Okay, so I stamped You Are So Very Kind with the Cajun Craze and just cut it off. This is very vanilla. Just cut it with my trimmer and then cut a piece of my pecan pie and then popped it up, added a little ribbon. Now here's where I did something a little bit different. I put a little gift card holder on the inside, and then from the same set, stamped just for you, use the coordinating dies that comes with this, pop this up, and then I have a thank you, and then I can write my little message. So a little gift card for something that somebody did nice. And this is from the, let me find the dies here. Is this it? Yeah, this is from the Grow with Love dies set. So I just used this on a piece of Designer Series paper, cut the top off, grabbed a punch and just punched a little slot. And then you could put a gift card, put in money, put in whatever you want, right? So lots of ideas. And this is 1 hour. And I'm going to have to leave it at that because I'm sure you got things to do. But I hope you enjoyed this class and these cards. And you got a few extra bonus ideas thrown in. And then the first ones that we did, right? So lots of fun. So I really hope, let's try to get these all in so you can kind of see them all. I'll take pictures too and I'll send pictures. But I really hope you have fun with this card kit. And again, thank you so much for your orders and your patronage throughout the years. I really appreciate it. And I have a little, look what stuck to me. And I don't know where I'm going to put it. Oh, decisions. We're going to put it right here on the umbrella for now. There. All right, my friends. Have fun. Take care and happy stamping.